Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village, there lived an elderly woman. She was very old, with silver hair and a face lined with gentle wrinkles. Yet her eyes always shone with warmth and kindness. Everyone in the village loved her because she remained cheerful, even during the hardest days of her life. She lived alone in a tiny house beside the big banyan tree. She had no children, and her husband had passed away many years ago. But despite her loneliness, she never complained. She would sit under the banyan tree every day, talk to people, and share her warm smile with everyone. Life in the village was not easy. The people worked hard. Some were farmers, some carpenters, and others sold goods in the small market. Sometimes the rain didn't come and the crops dried up. Sometimes people fell ill and couldn't work. Worry and sadness often filled the village. One day, a young woman named Radha came to the old lady. Radha was crying, her face filled with fear and anxiety. "I don't know what to do," she said. "My husband went to the city to find work, but he hasn't sent any money. My children are hungry, and I'm scared." The old lady looked at Radha with a gentle smile. "Sit down, my child," she said softly. "Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Radha wiped her tears. "I don't know," she replied. "I keep thinking something bad will happen. What if my husband doesn't find work? What if he forgets about us?" The old lady shook her head gently. "Radha, when we fill our minds with bad thoughts, we feel even worse. But when we choose good thoughts, our heart feels lighter, and sometimes good things follow." Radha asked, "But how can I think good thoughts when everything feels so difficult?" The old lady smiled again. "Let me tell you a story." Radha looked up, curious. The old lady began. "Once there was a poor man who had nothing, not food, not money, not family. He sat by the river and cried. An old woman approached him and asked, 'Why are you crying?' He said, 'I have nothing. How can I be happy?' The woman smiled and said, 'You have the river, the trees, and the sun. Look around you, there is beauty and life everywhere. If you only think about what you don't have, you will always be sad. But if you appreciate what you do have, you will find peace.'" The man listened. Slowly, he stopped crying and began to notice the blessings around him. From that day on, his life began to change. The old lady looked at Radha kindly. "You see, my dear, the man's life didn't change. Because of magic, it changed because he changed the way he thought. When we think positively, our heart feels lighter, and we find the courage to face our problems." Radha thought for a moment. "Do you really think my thoughts can change my life?" The old lady nodded with a soft smile. "Yes. If you wake up each morning and tell yourself, 'Today will be a good day,' you will find strength to work, to care for your children, and to wait for your husband with hope. But if you let fear guide your thoughts, you will feel weak and unhappy." Radha nodded slowly. "I understand. I will try to think good thoughts from now on." "That is the first step, my child," the old lady said. Radha left with a lighter heart. Every day, she repeated the old lady's words to herself. She woke up and said, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, cared for her children, and prayed for her husband's safe return. A few weeks later, Radha received a letter from her husband. He had found a job in the city and was sending money home. Overjoyed, Radha ran straight to the old lady to share the news. The old lady smiled and nodded. "You see, my dear, when we think positively, we invite good things into our lives. Problems may come, but with a hopeful heart, we can overcome them." Soon, more villagers heard about the old lady's wisdom. Many people visited her with their troubles. Her advice was always the same: think good thoughts, and good will come. The villagers loved her even more because her words brought peace to their lives. She had taught them the true power of positive thinking.